recording.
Show notes. 40. Got it. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 540th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Bobby.
Hey, what's going on? I was surprised to be announced first. I don't know what to do.
Greg is also here.
I am also here. I'm wearing different socks and different shoes because that's all I'm allowed to change.
You know? Yeah, that's true. Okay, here's the deal. This is a Monday episode, so we're going to talk about some Pokemon news. We're obviously going to talk about Scarlet and Violet. That is out there. But we have a mini-series that will be coming out later this week, Thursday, Friday. And I figured out the structure of the mini-series.
I get to hear it live. I'm excited.
I was going to say, I didn't get to tell Greg it, but I figured it out. I figured it out yesterday.
Cool. I like how I have so much input and say on all of the processes going into these things. It's such a giving, collaborative process we go through where you don't talk to me for an entire week. And like, I figured it all out. This is what we're doing. And I hope it fits into your schedule. I'm assuming so. I never asked.
Greg, I had an epiphany. So Greg and I already said about maybe four or five episodes, maybe 6 episodes, and I think the thing that Greg and I we talked about on the show, we talked about during Community Day, is like, how do we structure these episodes? If Greg goes north, I go south, Bobby goes east, Will goes west, and then even if
we don't care where Will goes. Will's never going to talk to us about it anyways.
And, even if we did it in the order that the game wants you to, because the
game really wants you to do it in a very specific order.
If we do it in an order, that doesn't mean you, the listener, are doing it in that order either, right? Because you can go wherever you want. So the first episode will be, talking about all the new Pokemon. Minus post-game Pokemon, because we haven't talked about any of those yet. There's a lot of new Pokemon. We're not going to talk about them in this episode, so don't worry about that if you're like, I haven't seen it. But that expectations going into that first episode. Then we're going to dedicate a whole episode to the Titan storyline, a whole episode to the Team Star storyline, and a whole episode to the Gym Leader storyline. That way, if you finished the Titan storyline, like I did before everything else, boom, you can listen to that episode and know that nothing else is spoiled. And I think those stories are good enough told where you want to kind of talk about the whole thing from start to finish. And then a 5th possible episode would be like the Elite Four or whatever the end stuff is. Well, we know there's an Elite Four, right? So
they tell you.
yeah, they tell you multiple times. That way you know kind of exactly what going in, and I think it's kind of like the end of a movie, right? Like you finish that storyline, and you want to talk about it, and now you'll have a podcast episode that'll talk about it. So that's the plan going in. Obviously they'll be named and labeled, and whether you finish this game in 2 days or whether you finish this game in a month, they'll exist on the internet. So and I'm really excited to do those episodes, which makes today's episode hard because we are not going to talk about that kind of stuff.
We are not.
Nope.
We have other things to talk about, apparently.
Yes. There is a little bit of Pokemon news that we will kick off with and just kind of get through. The first bit is, if there's one thing consistent about the Pokemon Company, is they like to dump everything the same week. And out of nowhere, the Pokemon trading card game live is now in beta for everyone. Download it when you want. This came out, I believe, on like Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
You can go in the iOS store or the Android store and download it. And they did say when the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live officially releases, Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, which has existed for the last 120 years, that's why it looks like it was made in 1999, that will shut down. I have a feeling that this app is going to be in beta for maybe longer than Gmail has been in beta.
Absolutely.
Well, we can hope it's going to be in beta because I've not heard a lot of positives.
No.
I'm not a TCG player of the Pokemon kind, and even I've heard that
one of the
issues.
Exciting things was coming to Minnesota and trying to convince, Greg's goal was to convince me to play Magic. My goal was to convince Greg to get into the Pokemon trading card game. That hasn't happened yet. And, PTCG Live isn't... I don't know. I can't say that I've played it since, I originally got that demo from Nintendo where they invited I think it was like me, Marilyn, there was a couple other people in that demo, and they showed us why I walked through everything. And the only thing I could think of watching the entire thing was like, well, you cut this feature, you cut this feature, you cut this feature, like why is this gone? It just seemed very I don't know how something could feel so lightweight but so bloated at the same time. What
did you play it on? Or what did you see it on? Like how did you see it? Before?
It was like the desktop version or whatever.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think having the trading card game on iOS is huge. Mm-hmm. Now I know that PTCGO was on iPad, but you can't put the iPad in your. Well, maybe if you have Jinko jeans, you could put the iPad in your pocket.
Look, I've seen people on Community Day pull full iPads out of a pocket.
This is small. This is a little mini. It's not
Yeah,
that
you got
big.
that
I
mini
can fit this
iPad.
in a pocket. Yeah.
Like I have seen wild things with the people on iPad. I'm like, where did you pull that from?
But we all agree, like being on a phone is significantly more important than just,
Yes.
quote unquote iPad. And yes, you can sideload it on Android phones, but not the same as just being available. The power of being in an app store and hitting free download is out there.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, why is it released this week? Why was it not released last week? Like Sableye in Unite, where everyone was like, I don't want to start anything new, or like, I'm just kind of waiting. Like,
Well, I mean, they didn't want to start anything new then either. I mean, no, I think it is, hey, this is the week where you learn we've cut out a whole bunch of features you like. So we're just going to get the bandages all ripped off at the same time, and you'll be mad at us for a week, and then we'll all move on. Okay? Americans, you'll be eating a lot on Thursday. You'll get happy through that.
I mean,
It's all fine.
yeah, I mean, that's true. I guess like if you're one of those people that you only get a game for birthday, you only get a game for Christmas. Maybe you're waiting for reviews. Maybe your significant other wants to get you something. You're not in a rush. You're like, give me the Pokemon game for this. This is at least like, look, it's free.
It's free.
It's free, but if you move your data to it, you do not get to go back to the online version.
It is a one-way street.
Yeah,
There's no
be careful.
takesy backsies.
Yeah, so.
But hey, if I could understand if you're younger, maybe can't afford Scarlet and Violet or whatnot, and you're stuck at your in-laws or your grandma's this weekend, and everyone's playing Scarlet and Violet, and you're like, I need something to distract myself because everyone's passed out from turkey. You got something to download.
But it also helps that it gives people who aren't maybe interested in Scarlet and Violet something to talk about while everybody's talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Thank goodness Niantic didn't do anything this past week. I mean, besides Singapore. I guess they did have like a mini walking thing to
yes.
represent Singapore, where it was like 7 kilometers.
Yeah, 5 kilometers, and it was a bunch of purloin because that became the new shiny in game.
But As of recording this at 1 a.m. Central Time, there is an Ultra Beast arrival countdown. It says 7 hours, 26 minutes left on PokemonGoLive.com. So I don't know why I struggled with that. So Niantic didn't do anything week of Scarlet and Violet weekend. Thank goodness, because Sword and Shield was Chimchar Community Day, I think.
Yes, Chimchar
Yeah.
Community Day.
And then I think Let's Go had something too, didn't they? That weekend of Let's Go?
Yeah, I think they did.
Janine has an iron fist over scheduling and will not let anybody give criticisms about overlapping anything.
I do want to give Niantic credit here because we very rarely do. The Ultra Beast commercials they have been running have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you like seeing people die,
Well, yeah, they have been. They've been very, very
they
good.
have been very much full of these people have not survived this experience. I mean, I'm into it. Don't get me wrong. This is the content I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
What we're missing some Ultra Beast. So, I mean, in the trailer, I'm seeing Nihilego, I'm seeing Kartana, I'm seeing Buzzwole, I'm seeing Celesteela. What we're missing Poipole, we're missing Blacephalon, we're missing Stakataka, we're missing one other one, I think.
No,
Yes,
Xerxes was already done.
No, is there going to be
Naga-
already out
yeah.
there?
Poipole and Naganadel.
I
Yeah.
guess,
So,
like Necrozma, you could write, or
Necrozma's not an Ultra Beast. Let's get.
Jeez, Bobby.
right. I'm just trying to think of like anything else that might be put in there.
Yeah, are they flipping is it Kartana Celesteela?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Southern Hemisphere right now, or
Oh.
was Southern Hemisphere.
Are they turning these shiny finally? I feel like it's too soon to turn them.
That's too soon.
Way too.
Shiny?
It's only been a couple months.
Yeah,
No, they gotta drag that out for a while.
2024 for shiny Ultra Beasts.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. Like what's in raids right now, Bobby? Nothing
Guzzlord.
good.
Guzzlord's in raids for the tier 5 stuff, and then I think it's Gyarados for mega raids right now. So,
Okay. I mean, Gyarados is a good mega.
but yeah, it's still Guzzlord. It's been Guzzlord for a couple weeks now.
It's been
Right.
for a while.
That's why
Like,
it's
it
like.
went in.
I mean, like, I kind of liked that it's been Guzzlord because I haven't really. I mean, it's been cold in Minneapolis. These games have been coming out, so it's nice when the thing in Pogo isn't like you've already done it all. You're like caught up almost.
Yeah, I know that they've not done this before, but it kind of seems planned out that way. I mean, I feel like a lot of people who don't just play Pokemon Go have maybe put it aside for the last few days if they're also playing Pokemon Scarlet Violet. So it's nice. I mean, I honestly, like, I didn't play yesterday. Like, I forgot to play Pokemon Go yesterday and a couple days ago, and I came back to it and was like, oh, there was events that like ended at some point in the last few days, and it's like, oh, that's fine, I guess.
There was events that ended, and while Scarlet and Violet has a frame rate problem, Niantic was like, "Here is as many frames as possible. Do you want your game to feel so fast you think your mind is melting because whatever magic they did there? What happened? How is Pokemon Go so fast?
I don't know.
Like it's almost too fast.
Optimization.
Yeah.
Like
They
I opened
took-
the menu
they-
and I'm like, what? Did I press the right button? Where am
They
I?
stole the code from Scarlet and Violet. it was a
Scarlet and Violet died, so Niantic could have faster animation.
fast frames. They're like, give me that code, copy paste. Except
Maybe-
they did hit copy, they hit cut. Cut and paste is what they did.
Game Freak, if you want to hire us for animation or speed, we can do it.
We can do it.
We can
Look.
do it. We can push the update right now. We've been sitting on it for this moment. It's great. Also, there are new Scarlet and Violet avatars completely free in the store. If you because you can't change your clothes really in Scarlet and Violet, feel free to match that here in this game. And then finally, another good. How are we so positive on Pokemon Go this week? It's crazy. Another great thing is they announced more community days. They gave us a heads up here. Dates. So we got Saturday, December 17th to Saturday, December 18th is the all feature, like the end of the year community day thing.
That's
Saturday,
everything from
January
2022, right? Like that's
the 2022 Pokemon. Saturday, January 7th will be the next new community day. Saturday, January 21st, they're doing another classic. And then Sunday, February 5th will be another community day. And they said there will be community days aren't the only events on the horizon. Here are some new additional in-game events: December 3rd, December 10th, December 11th, December 24th, 25th. That's probably like Delibird with a bow.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened at Niantic this week, but hey, I'm not going to complain about the communication and the update to Go. Good on them. Hey, I'm into that.
I'm not doing all of these.
I was going to say, that's a lot of dates.
I'm not doing all of
That
these
is a
things.
lot of December.
But they gave you a heads up, so.
They did give me a heads up. Thanks. I'm not doing them. I'm giving you a heads up. I'm not doing all these
What
things.
if every December event is Roselia?
A, it won't be, and we're not even. How dare you?
Roselia with a Santa hat? Roselia
the
with
knife
a bow?
in my heart right now.
Roselia with a snowball?
How-
I'm glad you said it, because I was thinking the
How?
same thing.
How dare you?
You won't believe what Greg's new favorite is on our mini series coming later this week.
I have to pick one. Jeez.
The Pokemon Company sent me the Squishmallow, and that should be launching later this week exclusively on PokemonCenter.com. I heard Tuesday, don't know what time, there will be two Squishmallows. One is a Pikachu, and one is a Gengar. I am still campaigning that Gengar gets more merch and more special treatment than a lot of other Pokemon. Just, campaigning that out there. How much is a Squishmallow? I don't know what the price
$50
is.
million.
I would imagine. Yeah. Okay. We have one, but I have no idea what it cost because I was not there when it was purchased.
If only we had the internet.
I will say it is incredibly nice quality. It is very squishable, very soft. If they did not send it to me for free, just being transparent, I would have probably bought this.
Lamont, the black and white Pride French Bulldog with rainbow ears and sunglasses with a white belly, is currently on their website for $19.99.
That cheap? Oh,
So
we
it's
gotta keep
probably
the Pokemon
30
tax though.
for a Pokemon.
Oh,
yeah,
I
for
don't know
a
what the
Pokemon
Pokemon
one.
tax is going to be, but
Yeah. I don't collect Squishmallows. I know that they are very popular. So I would suspect that these would sell out, right? I mean, if $100 Puma shoes are selling out in 2 to 3 hours on PokemonCenter.com,
these will sell out.
I'm
for
gonna.
sure.
For
so
sure.
if you're listening, if you're into this, I was told Tuesday. I was not told the time. I don't know. Command R, refresh your browsers. I don't know. That's a Mac thing. I don't know what it is on PC. Control R. F5.
F5, right?
What are you guys doing on PC? F5.
Yeah, they
what
were
was our-
super. They were hyped up a lot. Was it TwitchCon or was it Comic-Con? Maybe they showed them
think-
off at one point, and
I
people.
think
Oh,
they were
maybe it
at
was Worlds or
Comic-Con.
something. I don't know. It was
Yeah,
some
I think it
event,
was
but,
Comic-Con.
man, everybody was like, "I want that now." So I imagine they're gonna go fairly quickly.
Yeah, I would would imagine so as well. And I think that's all the news. I mean, there just in Unite there was just Sableye, right? Nothing else new there.
Sableye should go to coins and a couple of. They are having a Scarlet and Violet event, sort of.
Where you
I
could get
think-
the outfit, right?
You can get the outfit. And stickers, I think,
The outfit for who?
for yourself.
So in Unite, you can look like the characters from Scarlet and Violet.
Okay, I was like, for the Pokemon or for the people?
I mean, honestly, at this point,
Yeah, why not?
yeah, why not?
Unite has the main character outfits, a frame, a background, and some stickers, I believe. I think that's everything.
Got it.
So if you own Scarlet and Violet from December 1st, you'll be able to log into Unite where you can get the main outfit. And then I think that's running till next year. It's running for a long time.
Yeah, I think you have like the rest of the year to do it.
Yeah.
But you just have to have Scarlet and Violet or
you just
Violet
have to have Scarlet
game
and
data.
Violet to get these in Unite.
And then I actually, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't logged into Pokemon Masters in 2 weeks. I have no clue what's happening. I think Hugh is in that game right now. Hugh and Bouffalant. So that's cool. I like Hugh.
Signasuit N is in there right now.
Which end is this? Number 12?
No, this is the second. I think this is only the second end. I think there's only 2 ends.
There's
50
certain characters they really like in
Ericas.
that game. If your name is Erica,
If your name
you
is
have about
Erica.
17 versions.
Yeah, there's a ton of you. There's a bunch of Marnies.
Yeah, but Marnie's pretty great.
I feel like everybody likes Marnie.
How is Milo not? How is Milo not in there? How is Mirror B not in this game yet? For crying out loud! Masters is going pretty good. I mean, it's pretty standard. They are right now doing a login and get a bunch of bonuses for Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, here.
So
let
if
me
you
log
log
in, right now.
in for the next 4 days, you get gems, and then you get to see characters talking about, we've heard about this new region. There's new Pokemon.
I love
How
when
exciting.
they do that stuff.
I want to see all about it. I do too.
You don't like that stuff?
That's cute. I mean, Erica talking about how she wants
Which
to.
Erica?
Standard Erica talking about how she wants to nuzzle into Sprigatito and let its calming sense lull her to sleep. It's cute conversation.
I feel like Masters is constantly giving things away. Like, I don't play Masters. I try every once in a while, and then it's always when you guys are talking about something else they're giving away. It feels like that happens fairly often.
They
of gems.
are much better at giving gems away so that you can pull, because it's now basically a collecting game. So really you can pull about every 2.5 weeks if you're just getting free stuff. If you try to do the other stuff, you can get it through quicker. But yeah, they are a collecting game with some hardcore gameplay if you really want to hunt it.
Yeah, I mean, the people who like the Masters battle system, they love it.
They love it.
It's
fine.
It is. Yeah, it's fine. I think it's fine too. I mean, like there was a point where I felt like I had a lot of good sync pairs, and I was at the level cap at the time. I'm nowhere near the level cap. They keep raising it. And they introduced, I think it was like it was like maybe the start of the Tapus, and I felt really good like beating it, and then I was able to do the harder difficulty, and then I was even able to do the harder difficulty, and during that time I was like doing my sync grid, and I was like really into it for like 2 weeks. And then they raised everything again, and I was like, you kind of like, I like Masters of I got 5 minutes because I'm waiting for my food at, in the McDonald's to bring out my order, or I'm at the dentist or something, or right before bed, or right when I wake up. But when I was doing those, like I spent like an hour in the game, which is a long session for a mobile game just to sit there. But I had a good time, and then it's like, knowing I had to do that, and then another event comes through, it's just like, I don't have this hour right now to like look at a sync grid, to like upgrade these characters, to like maybe read online what other people might be doing, like, oh, bring Misty and bring Leon, but the people who are into it they're into it, and that's cool.
I will say the good thing about Masters is you can get a lot out of the game without having to do the hardcore stuff.
Yeah,
and a lot of the event completions that give you gems don't require you to do the hardcore stuff. Like, there'll be 11 different goals to hit, and generally to get the gems you only have to hit 10 of them. But you can do the harder stuff, which will give you great rewards. I think the interesting thing about Masters is they have a good balance of if you want to play that game casually like I do, you can still have a good time, right? Like I pop in, I date Professor Sycamore for a little bit. We go out for tea. I auto battle some stuff. I do a little bit of the slightly hard stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're good. We're out. I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Important question: is Farfetch'd in Masters?
Yep.
He was in eggs, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think the shiny one was too.
Yeah, the shiny's in there. I got a shiny pincer today. And B
They've
has
just accepted that
Surfetched.
eggs is just collecting.
Eggs is just
Well, eggs are good for free-to-play players too. Like if
Yeah.
you can't pull gems, like that's where the eggs kind of come in too.
yeah, B has Surfetched, and then you can hatch when it comes back around again, Farfetch.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, probably won't pick it up again, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, no, it's there. I mean, and it's one of those games that you can really drop it and come back like 3 months later. And,
Oh, yeah.
And
And they're so happy when you come back too. They give
oh
you a
yeah.
lot.
I think there's something built into the game where if it knows you haven't logged in for 60 days, it like just douses you and stuff, which is smart.
Oh yeah, very smart.
That is smart.
Speaking of dousing you and stuff, we're gonna douse you with a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about some. That was like a 7 out of 10. That was maybe an 8 out of 10, honestly. We'll be
We'll
back.
give it a 7 out of 10 because you hate sevens.
Yeah, I do.
That is the worthy number for that.
World of no sevens. We will be right back. We're going to talk about some Scarlet Violet stuff. Again, just mechanics, things that, should be important, whether, you're 10 hours into the game or 40 hours in the game, stuff like you're not able to change your pants. So,
Nope.
we will be right back. And we are back from our break. All right. Oh, boy. Where do we want to start? I'm giving myself 30 minutes here because I want these episodes to be an hour. We're getting some more episodes later this week. It's late at night. Got to edit. Obviously, we got
Hammer it out.
a lot of years probably with this game, so we got time. We got time to talk
Hammer
about
it out.
We'll do the sandwich method. I want to talk about something positive.
'Kay.
The character customization. We talk about this on the first impressions, like the face, the
face.
hair.
Oh.
Okay.
The
I was where
eyes.
this is
Yeah,
going.
I spent a good chunk of time figuring out how I would look to make myself look like myself without sort of contemplating the fact that it would be my face on a child's shaped body, and it looks really weird, and I do not like it, but I'm stuck with it now.
You can change it anytime, which is another plus. You can. Well, a little weird.
Did you
and they
not
told me
hear
this
what
during-
I said? I am stuck with it, and I cannot go back.
It's great that we have taken baby steps here, and you can have any hairstyle you want: girl hair, boy hair, non-binary hair, whatever. However
Yep.
you want to classify that. A lot of colors, a lot of eyes, a lot of facial features. Really, I think probably the two things that are missing would probably be bald,
Yep.
and facial hair.
Bald? Well, yeah, because you're a kid. I mean, I did know some kids around that time that did have facial hair. So, also, it is a little weird that they took away the much darker black skin tone because they're all pretty light skin tones in this one.
Yeah.
I thought they added another one.
Nope.
Oh.
There
I thought there was
is-
more skin tones.
There are 8. I think there are still 8, right? It's just
there are
8.
only
yeah.
8 that they're
Were there not?
there. Well,
any-
there are 4. They're the same. They're 4 and 4, male and female.
I know,
Yeah.
but was there no extra? You could do a little bit more detail on skin tone after picking one of the 8.
No,
or?
no,
No.
there was never.
Okay.
No.
There was never that.
So it's a bit of a bummer that sort of, and I've seen it around. People are like, "This is the darkest my skin tone can go." It's like, yeah, it's not great because it has been darker in other previous
Yeah, I
games.
think in Sun and Moon it was pretty dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
those
they did
people
make
that
they
want
made a
that.
choice there, but they did expand a lot of the customization. Like, there's a lot of eye colors, there's a lot of hairstyles, there's a lot of new hair colors.
Yeah, there's a
all that is
bunch
great.
of hair color. I was surprised at how many hair
Lips,
colors there
lipstick.
lipstick. You get lips in this game.
Eyeliner, eyeshadow, or whatever. Yeah, brows.
There's
Eyelashes.
eyelashes. Yeah,
Yeah.
eyelashes.
It's really, really great. It's so great that like right off the bat, I was like, man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And one weird thing, you can change your face and eyes and hair, sorry, not hair. You can change all of that at any point in the game. You can hit the D-pad and change it just anywhere. If you want to just change your eyes from gray to white, you can do that. You just the hair, you have to
Nope,
go to a
the
salon
hair-
and pay, which
Yeah.
is like fine. It's just weird that like everything is here anywhere, and this one thing is here in like a couple cities. And they, that was something Nintendo told me when I did the preview. They were like, hey, you can change it anywhere except for your hair over here. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little weird, but
We made
weird
choices.
not a complaint, just weird. And then there was I don't know. Somebody was wrong. I forgot to ask about clothes in my preview, and then I heard that IGN or another game outlet asked about clothes, and I was told or I heard, so I apologize because that's what I heard, that there would be like hoodies and shirts and different pants, but you start with 4 different school outfits. There are no hoodies
And
or
that's
shirts
it.
or
Really?
pants.
Nope.
You can change. You can buy as many gloves as you want, hats, boots, socks,
Backpacks.
backpacks.
That's it.
4
Glasses.
onesies ultimately of spring, summer, winter, fall. And nothing else. Which if you're running the winter outfit, which I think looks good,
Yeah.
socks are off the table
Yep.
because you have long pants. You can't see any of the 500 socks they've designed, and that's it. And if you want your hair like me, I don't wear hats in real life,
Yeah.
so all the hats are off the table.
Yeah.
I personally not a fan of gloves on my character. I'm wearing gloves this time because it's like the
What
one
else
of
are you
two
going
You
to
need
things.
do?
something.
What else are you gonna do? Like, so I will freely admit that I was saving up money, thinking, well, I need it for clothes. And then I got to another big city, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. None of these shops sell me pants?
Wait.
Nothing.
so-
None of them sell me pants. None of them sell me shirts.
Bobby is dumbfounded. He is shocked right
Like
now.
I haven't tried to do this yet, but like I could have. Didn't we just talk about the other day how you wasted all your money buying clothes, Steve, or something? So what did
in
you
past
buy?
games, yeah.
In
No,
past
no, no, no,
games.
no. On Friday when we were talking about.
Oh yeah,
like,
because
you
I
said
went
you
because I
spent money on
only had
clothes.
$8,000 and I bought a pair of $8,000 boots. It was that expensive for a pair
Yeah,
of
it's
boots.
that expensive for a pair of boots.
I see. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Wow.
Yeah.
That is. Why is it's just the 2 steps
Yeah.
forward or the 1 step forward, 2 steps back with them sometimes?
It's
like,
insane because Sword and Shield had like every time I went
Yeah.
into a store, I was so excited, and I feel like I'm downplaying this, but like every time I went in, I was like Cramorant shirt, Applin shirt, Pikachu
Yeah.
shirt, Eevee shirt, a blazer, non-blazer, T-shirt, leather jacket, like so many different clothes. And your character looks incredible in this game.
Yep.
If there's one thing that looks great, it is your character's face. And you look
Yeah.
at it a lot and it looks good. And just to have the same one of 4 outfits
Yeah.
is such a bummer.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is one of the things I tell to Niantic is when they ask for feedback, I'm like, character customization is so important. Looking like you want to look in games really gives you this form of connection.
Yep.
And they always write it down. They're always like, yeah, we know we're fixing character. Like, whatever. That's a whole different conversation. But I even thought like, okay, you're in school. I get it. The theme is you're in school. You got a school outfit. I'm assuming you're going to be champion. This is just an assumption, right? You're gonna become champion. At that point, aren't you done with school? You graduated as a champion. I'm assuming. Didn't get there yet. I haven't beat the game. As a champion, I should wear what I want, right? I'm done with school. I did it. So
You think?
if Greg was like, "Hey, I beat the game," just to let you know, that there's a sick Cramorant hoodie, after you have to deal with the outfit until after post credits. I'd be like, fine, perfect, totally okay. That's not. It's just the school outfit.
It's just the school outfit, which is. It is mind-boggling. And here's the thing. Apart from everybody looking like robots, the outfits that everybody is wearing outside of this, I'm like, I want that tank top.
Yeah.
I want that jacket. I want those pants. And I can't get them. They're in the game. I can't buy them. I can't put them on myself. I am stuck in 4 awful school outfits that I'm already sick of.
One of them's good.
But here's the problem. I go into a raid, and it was always exciting to see how people who are coming in, random people who are coming in, I want to see what you're wearing. I want to see what you like. And we all look the same, except some of us are wearing stupid hats.
There are a couple good hats. But I like
most of them are bad.
You're right. The outfits that other characters are wearing are so
good.
You think of course they have customization because those when you saw like the Toro shirt on that kid in the preview in the trailer and stuff.
I
like,
want the Toro shirt in real
life. The
life.
Toro shirt is great. Also,
I want it.
Also, just a weird thing in the game. Again, this is not complaint, just weird. You battle students throughout the whole world of Paldea. Some of them are old people with beards. You're a student.
Why?
Where's my beard?
Why can't I? Well, that's like okay. Because so clearly this is an all ages university. Like they cover little because there are tiny toddlers who are also students, and there are grandfathers and retirees who are also students. So let me be an adult.
Yeah. Like I don't need.
I'm stuck in this weird 14-year-old body with 4 outfits that you do not let me change.
Again, and I would be okay with the outfits if once you are champion, you can custom. I would totally be okay. Or maybe like tie the outfits to like once you graduate the classes, which good transition here. There's like a side classes where you could take mathematics, history, language, and I don't want to spend too much time on it. And I will say it's not perfect, but there's so much. There was something I said like maybe 2 months ago of like the game doesn't tell you anything. Like how is a player supposed to know that Tera does like 3 times the damage or critical hit happens this often? And they listened and then in 2 months they programmed it in. No, but the school stuff does that. It kind of acknowledges a lot of the behind the scenes of the game, but in a really fun way.
Yeah.
Like for example, let's say you've never played a Pokemon game and you didn't know that if you bought exactly 10 Premier Balls, you would get Pokeballs, you would get a free Premier Ball. There's like a question that like tells you that, which is like really cool. And the math part is kind of like the teaching you super effective, but in a way more efficient way than just like writing on a like a blackboard in like previous games. Like it's really well done. I don't think it's perfect, but it's a huge step forward. And like I don't know how they do it because like I feel like when you go to the school, you're kind of stuck there and you're just in this loop of taking quizzes, and it's like. It's fine. It does actually kind of feel like schoolwork, honestly.
Yeah,
but it is better than just walking into a thing, looking at a blackboard, talking to an NPC that has a throwaway dialogue, and then walking out.
Right. I also like that as you do the classes, you unlock interactions with those teachers.
Yes.
Which actually makes the teachers feel like a bigger part of the world than any of the gym leaders do.
Yes, there's again we're not talking about specific stuff. We'll save that for the miniseries. But there's a teacher that I didn't care about, and a student came up and like said something, and the teacher was like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that right now." And I was like, "That line of dialogue, I didn't care about you at all, teacher. That line of dialogue, I care. I want to know now because you said you didn't want to talk about it, and I need the tea.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on. What's the synesty?
So that's there." We talked about on our first impression that they got rid of that you cannot toggle the moves. The moves always stay on. If you use flamethrower, the battle animations. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I lost words. A weird thing, right? Legends Arceus, you couldn't turn that off. Battles were weird in that game compared to a traditional Pokemon game. And then we talked about getting rid of set and shift, which another weird choice. They also got rid of Pokérus. Not in the game. Just not there.
Yep.
Which, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably know what that is. Person out, picking this up, playing it, finishing it, going back to Fortnite, probably don't care. It was like a 1 in 24,000 chance of getting Pokérus. Honestly, from what I've heard, I haven't done it yet. EV training in this game is apparently way better than any past game. So probably don't need it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they have a better way to fill the gap, I'm fine with a 1 in whatever chance of getting it. But it is weird.
For me, it was just like a fun thing to collect.
Yeah.
It was like an exciting little surprise that you kind of look forward to. It's not here. It wasn't in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. It wasn't in Legends. It's not here. Things like the catching charm, Shining Charm is still there, but the Mark Charm, I can't remember the last one, the Experience Charm or something. Yeah, Experience Charm.
Yeah.
Those aren't in the game either, but those were replaced with sandwich making.
Yeah.
Which is the shiny hunting method in the game. You can make a sandwich that will increase shiny Pokemon. You can make a sandwich that will increase titles, which are the marks that appear.
Yeah.
I think that's all really cool.
Wait, there's no shiny charm in the game?
There is a shiny charm, but
Okay.
you want to make a shiny sandwich is the way
Got
to
it. Okay,
hunt.
okay. Yeah.
So you can do if you have both, obviously that's the most efficient
Right. Okay.
way to do it. So they're making some bold choices in like cutting stuff, but maybe cutting stuff that like the set and shift thing is still so weird.
I feel like so far with what we've just been talking about as far as the classes go, as far as taking something like set or shift away and just having it be, what it's going to be, as well as and maybe I missed this in earlier games, but I'm pretty sure it's new. When you can learn a new move, your Pokemon can learn a new move, you can have it give you advice for which you can basically have it tell you which move or if it should learn the move at all right now or not, which that wasn't in earlier games, right?
That's brand new.
Okay, I feel like a lot of those things are geared toward, it's like, hey, maybe you've never played this before. It's like geared toward new people coming into playing the game. I feel like more than the games have done in the past. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not or whatever, but
I mean, I think it's
cool to
see.
see.
It's a good thing. You hear all the time that it's harder to get new people to jump on board than it is to, as much as we've heard about frame rate issues and slowdown and graphics, which I agree with. I think it's all bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't need to spend more time on it.
Nope.
I mean, we probably will, but it's bad.
We will, but
hopefully
it's
get a
bad.
patch. But you hear about all that stuff, and people are still pushing through it because they enjoy the gameplay so much, myself included. I enjoy the loop that they've created so much that I will deal with the issues.
The many issues.
But I do see how they're trying to get new people into the game, and that's cool. Like, totally understand somebody's Pokemon. A game is always somebody's first Pokemon game, right? Some people started with Ruby and Sapphire. People started with Black and White. Some people started with Sun and Moon, right? You got to start somewhere. So I respect that. Another great thing they did is bulk buying. I don't know if guys have tried this, but if you go into one of the menus, because there's not really stores to go into, you can hit the plus button and you can add a bunch of stuff, and then you get like a little receipt, which is kind of cool, that you can review, and then you can buy. So no more doing like 10 Pokeballs, then ching confirm 10 bananas, ching confirmed. You can just do 10 bananas, 10 strawberries, 10 hams, 10, it's great.
Yeah. I mean,
shopping cart.
it's still the same amount of clicking. It's just the time of processing is slightly less. It's not that great. You are still having to hit the same amount of buttons for the same thing.
It adds
All you're
up.
doing is saving one tiny bit of it
You're
saying
saving one button between each purchase.
one but
Yeah.
Because you're
And then
Not
kind of
saving
really.
the
text
confirm
says-
button.
Yeah. Yeah. It adds up over time.
Yeah, if you had 10
Yeah.
things in your cart, that's 10 less buttons you're pressing.
3 years from now, we can talk about how much time was saved because
None.
you didn't have to click that extra button.
Right. You're saving the time in the bulk purchasing that you're losing in your game stuttering. You know,
That you're losing.
It's a wash.
when your game crashed 3 times today like mine did.
Yeah, I'm 30 hours in, Greg. 2 crashes. What are you at?
I'm about the same amount of hours, and I'm at 3.
Bobby?
I'm only about 6 hours in at this point at 0 crashes.
Oh, wow. Huh?
Going
Check
strong.
back in next week.
Yeah, we'll wait till you get towards the end game.
I will say
The
look,
final boss
in,
are crashing.
in Sword and Shield, in 2,000 hours and 3 years, 2 crashes in Sword and Shield. 30 hours, 3 days, 2 crashes in Scarlet and Violet.
They front loaded them for you in Scarlet and Violet. No more. You'll have no more crashes
Right.
for the
You gotta
next
get them
3
out of the way
years.
early.
I don't remember having crashes in Scarlet.
Yeah, I
in
had
Sword and
2.
Shield.
Same.
I don't remember that. I don't remember having any.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I didn't think I had any either, but I think I only had a total of like 300 or 400 hours into those games compared to Steve's 2,000 hours.
Yeah, I put a lot in. Breeding has been moved to picnics, which I think is a positive, right? I really haven't actually heard anyone say anything negative. You pretty much have the daycare with you anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually great. I mean, you know, if you want to change the scenery, go to the beach or go to the snow caps or go to the swamp area if you want. Instead of being on steps for eggs, which is like you spinning in a circle, the eggs have time now, which I'm just going to give general examples, right? Like a Magikarp egg could be like, once you get the egg, it takes 1 minute for it to hatch, 1 minute real time instead of 100 steps. And like a Lapras egg might take 3 minutes because Lapras is harder to hatch than Magikarp instead of 3,000 steps. Those numbers are just an example. Now, Flame Body does work with this. There was during the leaks, there was somebody being like, Flame Body doesn't work, and it got retweeted, and everyone was like, Flame Body works. That they were wrong. Flame Body armor,
Shocking.
mega armor, magma armor, and I think what's the last one? Steam Engine.
Yeah.
Which doesn't matter because Roly-Coly, it has both of them, so you're set either way. Yeah. Those will work with it, as well as it will stack with the sandwich egg thing. So you can, this is probably, and again, I haven't spent any time doing the egg stuff yet, but Masuda Method is still in it, so if you have Shining Charm, 1 in 512, but this, from everything I've read, from every review, from every person I've talked to, this is by far the fastest, best way to hatch eggs. And you can do it anywhere. So that's what people are saying. I haven't dove in.
I haven't played with it yet. I've heard it's better.
Same.
Which, you know, for years I've been saying I would like the egg thing to be a little bit different. I don't think this is completely. It is different.
It is different.
Something. Yeah.
It is different. So, it seems like people like it.
The eggs still have to be like. Do they still have to be in your party? The similarly to, or does it not matter because?
I believe the eggs have to be in your party. Yes.
Or there's no timer running, right? Like if it's like, you know how before if you have eggs that are, your party's full, then your egg goes to your box, right?
Yeah,
so it's
that's
not
automatic in this game. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not like while it's in box, the timer still runs on it, so you could have like a bunch of stuff in your box and then have them hatch.
Yeah, I believe you have to put them into your party to hatch. Yes, because that's where
Yeah,
the
the
light
only
kicks in.
thing I don't like about it is that you have one less egg space potentially, because you have to have those two in your party at the picnic.
Which two?
If you have your picnic open, which are the two that you're trying to breed together.
Oh, well, you could just breed them together and then do the thing where your PC is full of eggs and then remove those,
Right.
put in the roll. Yeah, I see what
Right.
you're saying.
But like in that time, like
Yeah.
there aren't, and you don't have them in your party. Whereas the old daycare thing is you could load up and still go around while they were in a
Yeah,
factory.
yeah.
That loop is gone, which I'm not overly thrilled about, but I've heard everything else about it is better, so it's fine.
We'll report back. I mean, Greg and I have done a lot of breeding. Will does a lot of breeding too.
Yeah.
So I actually be curious what his take would be, but we'll wait like 3 months until he gets there.
If
If he gets there. Oh, there was something else that they changed. The Tera Raid stuff. So we were right and we were wrong. I said I would admit if I was wrong. I was wrong. You can change Tera types, which is incredibly surprising. I thought for sure they would save this for DLC. Now, to be fair, by the time you try to change one Tera type, the DLC will be out, and maybe it'll be easier. Because how you change Tera types is that you need to get 50 crystals of that Tera type. So if you're playing through Scarlet and Violet right now, you've maybe found one or two. They seem to put a Tera crystal near the gym just to, like, give you, like, it's just on the ground, usually behind the gym or, you know, nearby. But there's a city that you'll be able to go to. They'll talk about Tera. It's actually really cute and I think super clever. I think it was great. It was presented very well. And ideally, you take, let's say you have a Pikachu who is electric type and you want that Pikachu to be fire. You have to find 50 fire Tera crystals, which is a lot. And I've talked to people who have already beat the game who are like, yep, I'm 30 hours in. I have 3. All reviewers I've watched, they're like, this is going to take you forever if you want to do it. And you take the 50 crystals, you'll be able to change Pikachu from electric to fire. Boom, done. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe by the time the DLC comes out, you'll be able to change like 2 or 3, depending on how much you play.
I have found 1 fairy crystal and 1 water.
Yeah, I'm 30 hours in. I think I have 3 flying.
That's it.
Don't even need it.
That's it.
Now
out of 50.
I'm so
harder raids, like the 5-star, 4-star, they will drop crystals. So you could grind out, like, I'm just going to do fire raids to drop fire crystals to eventually change it. I think, look, it's great that there's no complaints. It's great that it's there. And by making it rare, they're not invalidating you doing raids. Like, oh, I don't need to do any raids because then I just want my Golduck and I just want him to be psychic because Golduck should be. Like, I'm sure, like bottle caps, like mints, like ability capsules, they will make it easier as time goes on, right? Like the Isle of Armor DLC, they're putting mints everywhere in the ground, right? So I'm assuming if this game gets DLC, assuming that it sells well enough because of the issues, and that it will be easier. But, you know, if there's a shiny Pokemon you really love it, it has a mark, it has all this stuff, you really want to grind out, it's an achievable thing that you can do. So I'm just surprised that it was here in base game, but I guess they kind of weighed it with we're going to make you work for it.
Really hard. It might as well not be in base game.
It's barely here in base game if it's that hard to actually, like, do it.
Now the thing that I was, I said, hey, I don't think those Super Saiyan Pokemon on the route are going to be this thing that everyone thinks. They were what I thought they were, which is static Pokemon that do not change. The Pokemon that I fought in the demo was a Tera type bug, level 40. If you go, I don't want, again, we're not spoiling Pokemon. If you go there in the swamp where they are level 40 bug type for everyone. It's been 3 days in a row. They're still bug type. There's a Buizel. Buizel's not a spoiler. We all know who Buizel is. We all played 17 Gen 4 games. That Buizel's always ice type. For everyone. Greg, ice type. All the people in Twitch chat, ice type. All people on Reddit, ice type. That Buizel a week later, probably still going to be ice type. And not only that Buizel on that route is the only Super Saiyan Pokemon. And it doesn't change. So, we were speculating a week ago that would they be all 18 types? Would if Weasel's glowing, is Jigglypuff not glowing? Can you have 2 glowing Pokemon? Nope, it is just like the wild area in Sword and Shield. Snorlax is always going to spawn here. He's always going to be this. He's just the static spawn of the day. I hope maybe that those Pokemon rotate monthly, maybe?
Yeah, I hope they rotate.
Because
but...
like I think it's fine right now. They're you can collect them, right? You can knock them out, get a bunch of LP. They're stronger. They do have different Tera types. But if in 2 years that Weasel with the ice crown is still there, like why? Like why would I ever go to that little corner of the map again? It's just the same Weasel.
Yeah.
Whereas like, hey, maybe, next month it's a fairy Weasel, and in January it's a fire Weasel, and then I think that would be cooler. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but right now it's fine. I think if they stay there forever, I don't think that's great.
Right. Do you think they would switch out the Pokemon or just like the?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Type?
I don't know.
Just
Yeah. I mean, they could do a lot of things.
But yeah, I remember one of the YouTube comments I read last week, which, I thought we said we didn't look. I thought we were clear in not reading spoilers and talking about everything
on the internet.
Yeah,
on YouTube comments, you were thinking that you weren't going to see spoilers after saying we're not talking about spoilers.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
Listening is hard, I guess. But in the last week's podcast, I was like, I doubt you'll have all 18 Tera type Koraidons. You can technically have all 18 types. It's just that's why would you change it? Like you would change it to the type you want, ideally because you either like that type or for competitive reasons. But like, why would you do the work to change it to something else and to maybe change it back? So you're right. Every Pokemon can be every type. Hope you have a lot of time on your hands. Again, I don't think it's bad. I just they wanted that stuff to be rare. They found a system to make it rare. The game just came out. I'm not in a rush to start changing everyone's Tera types. It is exciting still. Like I saw a fire type Dedenne raid. Very into it. I do want to talk about raids. We'll end here. I think this is a good place to end. Surprisingly, co-op works great. Not broken.
Yep.
Super surprised. Yep. Blew me away. But the raid system in general just so good. The raids feel engaging. They feel like you're actually doing something. I feel like if I look away, I'm like hurting my team. Now the 1 and 2 star raids, if you only done those, you ain't got like a level 5-star raid in this game. They're level 70. And that's not even including 6-star raids, which I don't know what level. And we know that the 7-star raid is level 100, and we'll experience that. But man, a 5-star raid feels to me like that Mewtwo raid felt in Sword and Shield, and it was very enjoyable. Like to the point where I was like, I'm the lowest level. Hey, I'm gonna cheer to like put up defenses. I will be the one that heals. Don't worry about healing. Just worry about like it felt great. And yeah, I'm excited to see them.
A couple things about the co-op thing that I discovered. Have you co-opted with have you union squared with a different version of your game?
No, not yet. I've had 2 people come to my game, and they were having a blast. I don't know what they were doing, but they were doing something.
Here's the thing. So a friend of mine, Scarlet Violet, we went to an area. He's like, oh, my rare spawns are here. My version exclusives are here. And so we went there. Turns out my version exclusives also started spawning there. So if you have 2 different versions in your union squaring, you get to see the other versions exclusives in your game.
Which is cool.
It's great. Cool. You get to go around and be like, oh, that's not my game. I'm with my friends. Now we get to catch everything. We can run around the map together. We can go. I can say, oh, this one spawns here. Let's all go over here, and you have a chance of catching it on your own without me having to trade it to you. Awesome feature.
Yeah. And thoughts on how many raids have you done, Greg?
I've done a bunch of raids. They're still low level to me, so they are
They're like instantly over.
nothing.
Yeah.
They're nothing. They don't feel significantly different at low levels. They just feel like, okay, cool.
Yeah. For me,
They're-
it's like,
they
I
look-
didn't even get to attack and it's done.
Yeah, yeah. They look great. Like they look great, except everybody looks the same.
I
We
was
already
gonna
covered
say
that.
that's the only problem.
The combos, like we found some fun combos. I'm like, oh, that's fun. Yeah, I want in on that. You know, that sounds like a cool Tera type on that particular Pokemon. Yeah, I'll do that one. I can't say that the Wycom system is any better, but
Oh, I disagree. I think the Union Square is so good compared
I mean
to
the union part coming together is, but like when you just go to the random raid screen, I'm like, okay, I'm having
like
as many
just searching
issues,
for like not your friends, just like a
not my
random.
friends, just a random. I have
okay.
as many issues getting into those as I've ever had.
Yeah,
Like-
and I that's probably chalked up to just they fill so fast and there's so many people playing. I think that will
Right.
probably work itself out. I think though, like the thing in Sword and Shield, and I asked the Nintendo rep this, back 2 months ago. I was like, hey, do they have to be on my friends list, or is it like Dynamax Adventures in the Crown Tundra where they can just enter a code? And they were like, they can just enter a code. They're
Yeah.
like, we're not 100% sure, but you should be able to just. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to trust you guys. They were right.
They're
so
right.
for me to go over to, hey, I have a fire type Dedenne. I'm going to open it up to everyone. It auto makes a code, and boom, I don't even have
Yeah.
to like make a code.
Yeah.
It's 6 digits. It's not 8 digits. Don't have to worry about like 1111111 88888. It's and it works great. And I would assume any issues would be related to memory leak or frame rate or RAM that would affect the whole game, and or just a huge surplus of people trying to get in right now. But the game has issues.
game has
no doubt,
issues.
and we could talk about the issues. I wanted to be a little more positive this episode, but going to give Game Freak credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
This internet stuff is better than Wycom, and didn't think they'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
Is like the frame rate stuff any worse when you're in co-op?
Oh.
Like,
The bugs I have in co-op are way worse than me playing on my own.
I can't answer that question because when I was in co-op, I was just literally standing still talking to people, and the two people in my co-op, they were doing everything. But I was still able to encounter, I was still able to leave, I was still able to evolve Pokemon and they had their own thing, so that was cool. Like it
Yeah.
works. Honestly, it works better
Yeah.
than I thought.
You connect fine, but I have noticed on multiple ends the bugs that you are seeing online, like, oh, that never happened in my game. That happens a lot when you are connected to somebody else's game.
well, yeah, because I just
Like,
think about
I had my friend literally riding around in the air for an entire 20 minutes because
That
nothing
sounds awesome,
loaded in. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, cool. You're on an invisible bike right now, I guess.
because I think back to like Sword and Shield, right? And when you're in the wild area and you connect online or anything like that, and you have all the other people that are there, right? Well, right, like but that was a time when, like, for as smooth as that game ran, like, you would run into issues there, like,
Oh yeah, you would see bikes go through
Yeah.
trees
And-
Yeah.
or just
Oh, yeah.
so
yeah.
if it's like with the issues that the game already has, and then you're adding into let's connect to the internet and see what else goes wrong.
Well, I mean, unlike Sword and Shield, I run around connected to the internet so I can do raids. It is just me unless I invite people into my game.
sure, right,
People
right.
don't pop in. I don't have random strangers
Yeah.
running around. I
Which
don't
is-
have any of that.
crazy because when people were popping in and out in Sword and Shield, like it didn't look great. I'm not gonna sit like it was glitchy. You would see somebody just drive in the air because the cliff ended, or
Yeah.
you would see people drive through walls and stuff. But like this game doesn't even have that, and it's running worse. And
Right,
like
right.
there's no
Yeah.
like there's at times in Scarlet and Violet where it's like you're in this big beautiful open. Well, I don't think the game is beautiful. I actually think the game is can be muddy and kind of ugly at times. I think there are moments where the game looks good, but you're in this big world and you're immersed with all these Pokemon around you. But at the same time, it kind of also feels empty because you don't have those people around you. And
Yeah, there's just not a lot of people.
and I think one of the weaker parts of why I don't think the game particularly looks good is because I don't feel like a lot of the areas are memorable. There are like the stuff in between kind of like it's filled with Pokemon and it's filled with trees and rivers and grass, but like I kind of have a suspicion that people are getting lost because there's no like landmarks that they can like kind of think of. Like there's the Graphite Forest, which doesn't look very pretty, honestly, but that area looks really muddy because it's more shaded, and you have the symbols on the trees, and you're like, oh, Graphite Forest. So that part becomes memorable because they're the only trees in the game with the symbols on it. But like you don't have that elsewhere. You don't have like these like something to be like this makes this part unique.
I mean, I disagree, but
yeah, I guess we can talk more. But
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
but I do think one of the problems is the world is so big and they did not put in enough landmarks.
right.
yes,
Like-
sorry, I think that was the point I was making, Greg.
Yeah. Like if you are in the middle of Wyoming, there's not a lot of landmarks there and it all looks the same. Like I can't like it is a real world and an in-game problem that they could have fixed by putting in much larger landmarks. Now, to be fair, they did put in towers. Unfortunately,
all look the same.
all the towers look the same. Like they didn't sort of consider changing those enough to make them landmarks. Like it's the key to why Disney World works, why people never feel like they've walked very far or for that long in Disney World, because the giant castle is in the middle, so you always have a focal point that gets your mind off of how long you've actually been walking, because you're always walking towards something big and cool. And that's something they did not do in this game until you get close to one of their cities. And the cities are memorable, but they needed to put in more important landmarks along the way so that you didn't notice how long you were traveling of just countryside.
Because there's a lot of distance between those, like you're
There's
saying.
a lot of
and
distance.
it's noticeable because it's
Because you
not
don't have something to focus on.
memorable, I guess.
Yeah,
You don't have something to say, oh, I'm heading there.
Right.
Because a lot of the times you're like, I'm heading towards a flag that I put on that's not actually in the world. I can't see it when I'm playing. I can only see it on my mini map. And that psychologically makes it feel like you're really traveling way too far, which is part of their game plan to make you feel like you're in a huge, expansive world. But it kind of backfires because the world feels, without other people and without landmark, a lot of the areas feel empty.
yes. So I agree with Greg then completely. Without the people and without the landmarks,
Yeah.
the world feels weird.
But I do think the pockets of areas that they created feel unique. Like I know which side of the map I'm on by the landscape they built, but I couldn't tell you a lot of the times where in that landscape. I'm like, I know I'm in this area
Right.
somewhere, and I have no landmarks to tell me
Right.
exactly where I am
I'm in the north part of the map because there's snow.
because there's
Yeah.
snow. That's all I can tell you right now. Trying to tell somebody online how to get somewhere was frustrating. I'm like, okay, so you go, like, I don't know, there's no landmarks. You
Yeah,
gotta go to this
that's-
part that's water, I guess.
Take like 250 steps, make a left, go
Yeah,
140
there
steps,
are
take a
moments where they
right.
almost get it right. There are moments
Yeah.
where you're standing at a Pokemon Center and you look and you go, I can see where I need to go next. There are
Yeah.
moments of that.
Yeah, there's just not enough of them.
Yes. I think we'll pause there. So, miniseries, first episode should be, a lot of the Pokemon. Hey, we're not going to talk about those. We won't talk about anything in Area 0. I think that should
Yeah,
be.
I haven't even gotten there
Yeah.
yet, so that's gonna be real tough for me to talk about it.
Nothing in Area 0. The game has more legendaries than the 2 box art. We're not going to talk about those. But, if there's a Pokemon that Greg really likes because he evolved it, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the final Evos. That'll be the first mini episode.
I'm gonna put you through a quiz to see if you could pick out what Pokemon I like from this generation and what's on my team.
Oh, well, don't ask me that question because I don't think I have an answer.
Yeah, no, you don't, but I definitely do.
No, I think I have a favorite Pokemon this gen. I think I do, but it's no Crymoran.
Well, what can be?
That's
no
very.
Roselia.
You are absolutely right, Greg. What can
What
be?
can be?
I don't know.
What?
I've got a favorite one so far, but yeah,
There are some that I really like for sure.
Yeah.
I think the designs are very good this gen. I don't know if Twitter's going to be a thing, but hey, if you want to follow us, there'll be a bunch of stuff in the show notes. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Greg. If you want to support on Patreon, get ad-free versions, isc.cash, patreon.com/PKMNcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can subscribe that way too. You get ad-free versions. You get bonus episodes. The mini episodes will not be behind a paywall. Anyone will be able to listen to them. Not going to put those behind a paywall, of course. And then, hey, if you're not doing anything this week, if you're not doing anything on Thanksgiving, I will be streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/PKMNcast. And pretty much all this week, except for probably maybe Wednesday, I need a day off, I'll be streaming on Twitch. And I'm pretty much almost done with the story, so at a certain point, I'll probably just be dex filling or trying to figure out sandwiches or spinning in circles for eggs, something like that. But thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super sleepy. It's late. I'm going to bed now.
It's late for me.
Yeah, you live in not
that weird time zone.